Welcome back to part 2 of the Little Christmas Tree Card Kit, 10 cards, 1 kit, and let's get started. This is card number 6. If you missed the first 5, make sure to check the links down below. Alright, so we're going to use this pre-cut card in the little pocket that comes in the kit, as well as the exclusive shaker bits, the pattern paper, and the sentiment, which is from the sticker set. I went ahead and mounted my sticker onto cardstock and foam adhesive. So for our pattern paper, I cut it just so that I have a nice little edge all the way around. And to cut our window, I just traced and then cut out the little window of the tree. I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of my pattern paper and adhere that to the card base. Now, this is from Jelly Bean Soup, this card and little pocket, and they do have the die that comes with it that helps you cut your little tree out and other shapes as well. I don't have that. I just using whatever came exclusive to the kit, so I'm just gonna pull it. Just gonna use the old trace and cut version. Okay, I'm adjusting my panel here because I want to make sure that my pocket is free and clear to move in to its spot without any of the paper flipping over. Now I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive all the way around the Christmas tree opening, and I'm going to pop in that little pocket. Now I'm going to press down hard on all the edges to make sure we get a nice adhere. That it adheres nicely. Now I'm going to add our little shaker bits. Now this little pocket, it has adhesive on the back side of it, but when you stick it into your little window, you want to just put a little bit of adhesive, just extra secure. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and peel back that little adhesive that comes on the little pocket. And I will add more adhesive so that I can line the back of my pocket and the inside of my card with that navy blue cardstock you see laying on the side there. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this, trying to stay clear of my edge of my inside crease of my card. And then I'm going to press firmly, especially where the pocket is. And then I'll flip it over once again and press down. Nice on the surface of my desk. And I have a little bit of that blue cardstock showing, and I'll just trim that off. It'll take me a few seconds just to trim it off. But our shaker is working beautifully. It shakes with none of the components coming out of it. Like I said, I'm trimming off any of this excess cardstock that's sticking out, and then we'll continue with our card. Now we're going to add our sentiment to the top right hand side as soon as I finish trimming this little bit of blue that's sticking out. Okay, now our sentiment comes from the sticker sheet, which is from the Kaisercraft sticker sheet, and I have all the components of the kit in the unboxing, which I will link below so that you can go back and check it out. I'm going to adjust this a bit here. Once I get it straight, I'm going to do some embellishing. For some embellishments, I'm going to go through those same shaker bits, and in there are little clay snowflakes. There's white and blue ones. I'm going to pull some out and adhere some to the right hand corner and then up by our sentiment. I started putting a blue one there by our sentiment, then a white one. Then I found another white one and I put it down there next to the bottom of the tree, and then I realized I don't like that there, too white. It needs a little more color, so I brought down the blue one. And I'll add that there, and add the white one towards the sentiment. And then I'll bring in another blue snowflake and add it to the top, just above our sentiment. I'm going to put all those shaker bits back in its package. Then I'm going to bring in the rhinestones that come with the kit, and I'm going to pull off a little tiny blue one and put it by the sentiment, and another one between those two snowflakes on the bottom. And then card number 6 is complete, and this is a fun shaker card. It has some dimension, but you can easily mail it with extra postage and maybe a padded envelope. On to our next card. For our next card is a landscape card. We have this tone on tone, light blue with white. It has all this wording on it, Merry Christmas, seasons, greetings, etc. I'm bringing in a shiny circle cut here for our wreath, the little mulberry flowers from the kit. I said my sentiment set reads peace, and that's from the peel off from the kit. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere our pattern paper to our card here. And all my cards are A2 size, by the way. They're either going to go in portrait or landscape style. So I'm adhering this, making sure that I leave a little white edge all the way around. And of course I have to adjust because I never get it right the first time. Then I'm going to adhere our little shiny paper to our card base here. I was going to start building my wreath off of it and then adhere it, but then I was like, no, I don't trust myself to get it down right. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right there in the center. Well, adjusting it, because like I said, I never get it down the first time. And that's some shiny paper I had in my stash. I'm going to go ahead and attach our mulberry flowers. These are Mulberry Poinsettias, and they're from the kit, using some tiny glue dots. And I'm going to put one towards the bottom left corner, and then the other one, I'm going to use my sentiment here for good placement. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to grab the other one and place it towards the top right hand corner of the top edge of our wreath. And the green circle here is just basically to help me stay in the circle. And I picked it green and shiny, so if you have a little bit of that shimmer coming through, it'll look nice. Alright, once I have this flower on here and I fluff it a bit, because I squished it adhering the little glue dot to it, now I can start adding our little sprigs. These little sprigs do not come in the kit. They're from my own stash. I just cut some out of plain 2 shades of green cardstock. One is like a Christmas green and another one is a little bit darker. And I'm just tucking them around our flowers here, creating a little wreath. These came from my stash, but I know that Kay offers, I think it's Lawn Fawn, has a little sprig looking die that you can use and create the same thing, which I actually have in my stash, but I forgot all about it. Okay, so now I've completed our little wreath, putting all those there, fluffing up my little flowers, and I'm going to adhere our little sentiment, which reads peace, and those from the peel-offs from the kit. I placed that onto a white cardstock, and now I'm going to adhere that to the green, and I'm going to fishtail the green. Just want that little edge of green showing through. I'm going to use some foam adhesive to adhere this to our card. And I need a little bit more. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to remove the backing and then adhere that to that little spot which I had as a placement. Now I'm going to add some of our rhinestones that came from the kit in the red. I'm just going to add them 4 all together. I'm going to put 2 bigger ones on the wreath and then 2 smaller, or I should say medium ones, just outside of the wreath. And there you have, then our card is complete. Look how much fun. You see the little green shimmer coming through. You have lots of pretty colors from the red and the green, and the subtleness of the pattern paper in the background is perfect. On to card number 8. For card number 8, we're going to create another landscape card. We're going to be using this purple swirl paper as well as this leftover light blue swirl paper. The sentiment is says all I want for Christmas is. Inside I'll put you, but I'll do that off screen. Alright, so there's another landscape card, and there's 2 stamped images of the presents that came from the stamp set in the kit. I'm going to color one present with VO4, and this is going to give us a nice little lavender color, and the other one will be with B21, I believe that is. I'll have it linked below. And then I'm just going to fussy cut these little presents out. They're simple boxes, and I go around the little string. I keep the little white edge all the way around. Now we're going to start adhering all components to our card. I'm going to make this again another landscape card. I'm going to adhere our purple pattern paper onto this gray cardstock. All the card bases and cardstocks are, unless they're specialty, and I note that they are, come from my own stash. The kit contains 2 3 specialty papers, one gold, one silver, Petallics, metallic shimmer paper, and another one is a piece of mulberry paper, which I'll use in my next card. Alright, as soon as I get this centered on here, like I tell you, never get it right in the first time. Alright, once I get this on here, I then will adhere our little strips to it. We have 2 gray strips, one light blue swirl, it's like a grayish blue swirl paper. It comes from the kit, and I'm just going to put them kind of staggered, as you would, on here, and I'm just adhering the last little gray strip here, and on the ends of each of these little strips I will add the gifts and the bow, and that little white bow is pre-made, and it comes in the kit. You get 2 white, 2 blue, and 2 red, which are perfect because they're already pre-done for you. And if you're not really good at making bows, or even if you are, sometimes having a pre-made bow is just the easiest thing in the world. Okay, so now that I get this card panel down, we can start adhering our little embellishments here. So I'm going to put my lavender present towards the bottom, my blue one towards the top, and our bow in the center. I'm going to use a glue dot to adhere our little bow. And then here's our sentiment. It's going to go right off here. I'm going to peel off the backing of our, I already had foam adhesive on there. I'm going to go ahead and get this on here and try to get it as straight as possible. And now we're going to adhere our little gifts to the card. And I'm using little bits of foam adhesive on the back of those so they have some dimension. So here's one, and I'll put a little bit on the other one as well, so that we have dimension all through the center here with the gifts and the bow, as well as our sentiment. And now I'm going to bring in, from my own stash, 2 lavender rhinestones. They coordinate lovely with that card, with the pattern paper, and 2 clear rhinestones, which picks up on the gray or silver, is as we like to think, as we like to call it in my house, of the cardstock that's there. So there is our card all complete. Now to card number 9. For card number 9, we're going to bring that mulberry paper I spoke to you about. And here's the gold specialty paper. And I'm using the die cut tree from the kit. This tree gets cut out in sections, and they all kind of puzzle together if you want to lay them together. Or you can put them separate just to give a little more fun, whimsical look to them. So here's the mulberry paper. I've trimmed it down to be a card panel size, a little bit smaller than my actual card base. As for the tree, here it is. You can see it cuts out a little jaggedy, and then you'll just kind of puzzle piece it together. So you can either adhere it right up against each other like this, especially if you cut them from 2 tones of paper, or you can do it like I'm doing here and give a little gap and just keep building there. That little gap makes it look like it's got gold garland on our tree. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed to continue building our little tree here, and then just stagger up to a peak. And the die cuts the tree sections and a little star. You can see the stars are on there on my work surface. I'm trying to get that last little piece here. Nope, I have one more piece after this, which is the top of the tree. And then I'm going to fussy cut this tree out from this gold paper, on this gold cardstock. And I'm going to save you all the excruciating part of watching me fussy cut, because I would do this twice to both trees. And then I added some foam adhesive to the back of our trees. Now let's go ahead and start building our card. Here is our sentiment, which is Merry Merry Christmas to you, and that's from our stamp set in the kit. I'm adhering it to the gold cardstock, and I'm going to set it aside so I can go ahead and adhere our mulberry paper to our card base. I treat mulberry paper almost like vellum in one aspect, is I don't want to oversaturate it with glue. I don't want it to just start seeping through. Now, mulberry paper, if you don't know, has this fun quality of you wet it and then just gently tear where you've wet it, you get this nice feathering look to the paper. It brings great texture with or without the feathering technique. All right, so this is about the setup I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have my 2 trees towards the left side of my card. I'm gonna get them on here, and then I'll have my sentiment off to the right hand here. Just trying to get those adhesive backings off. And that one's a little fussy. And now I'm going to go ahead and adhere those. Now my 2 trees are down, and I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back of my sentiment here. Oh, I lied. I'm going to go ahead and adhere it flat to my card. I didn't want it to compete. That's what I was trying to figure out. I didn't want it really to compete with the height here. Now here are the tiny little stars that come with the die cut with the tree. I'm adhering them to the tops of my tree with a little adhesive. And then I'm going to bring in my red gel glitter pen. I do this and then I do not like it. I don't know, I kept it in so you can see how I fix it, but it was worth a try. I thought it would be nice to bring in a little bit of shimmer there to the heart, because once you stamp it, it stamps all the solid color of what you stamp it. But I now used black ink, but I didn't like the way the black heart was on there, so I wanted to change it, and I used that red gel pen, and it didn't quite do what I wanted. But I'll fix that here in a moment. So I'm going to bring in some embellishments of the rhinestones here, and I'm bringing in some gold ones from my stash, because in the card kit you get red, green, and blue, like I said, and I wanted a little touch of gold rhinestone to this. So I'm adding them here to the bottom left and to the top right, moving all those to the side, and here. I don't like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in some Nouveau drops in ruby and red berry, I should call it, not ruby, red berry. And I'm gonna just go over the heart that way. And it'll add a little dimension to our heart, and it'll color it as well. Should have done that from the beginning, but I didn't think of it. So I'm just cleaning up that little edge there. And now our card is finished. So there we have our nice little shine. And I like the way those little peaks of gold come through our tree. Now for card number 10. This is our last card here. We're going to bring in this pattern paper with the snowflakes. And we have some gray cardstock, some black cardstock. This reminds me of like snow in the middle of the night when you go out. The sky looks dark and you have snow coming down. And then our sentiment is from our sticker sheet. And I have some snowflakes that I use from dies that I have in my stash. And I cut out the specialty paper that comes in the kit, the silver one, for our snowflakes. So I'm going to adhere, there's another landscape card, by the way. I'll adhere our pattern paper to this black cardstock. I just wanted to give it a little bit of a finished edge, but I didn't want too much of it. So just a little bit of black peeping through will help finish this off. Then I'll adhere this to our gray panel. But actually, I'm going to adhere my gray panel to my card base, if I could keep it in my hands, and then I'll adhere the black one on top. The snowflakes are so pretty on this, and it has like little swirls and such. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere this here. Trying to make sure I'm centered enough. Got a nice edge all the way around. And now I'm going to adhere our snowflakes. I'm going to have them just putting little drops of glue on the back of these. This paper is so pretty. It's this shimmering silvery paper. The camera here doesn't do it justice. I'm going to go ahead and add one snowflake there, and then I'll add another one towards the right bottom. Well, not quite all the way to the bottom, but towards the right end. And then I'll have my sentiment go right across the bottom here, right hand there. And I already have it. I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back of it. And I have our sentiment mounted on the same silvery pattern cardstock, not pattern paper, a silvery cardstock. Alright, so now I have these little embellishments there, the blue rhinestones that come in the kit. I'm going to add the two medium ones to our center of our snowflakes, and that little tiny one to the side of our sentiment. Once I get it peeled off. There we go. And there you go, card number 10 is complete. This is so pretty, it shimmers lovely in real life. So here we go, and I'm going to just move a couple things out of the way so I can show you all 5 of our completed cards. So here are the landscape cards. We have the snowflakes, the double trees. Here's the gifts one. Our wreath. How much fun is that wreath? And our fun shaker card. These are the last 5 of our kit. You can see the previous ones. I'll link it below for you. And here are all 10 cards. Thank you.